Right. Hello, everybody. Crunchy. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to RETROTHON. I am Finalflame. You might remember me from such amazing runs such as Chameleon Twist and Sonic 2 8-Bit last RETROTHON, Sonic 2 8-Bit the one before, and earlier this RETROTHON, the amazing game of Sonic Jam. Now, keeping a tradition, I'm bringing you something different. We are doing the original Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening, doing the Warpless category. I am joined here by the amazing Crunchy Lex.
I am so sorry. Someone literally burst open the door the moment we came live and had to tell him to go away.
Yeah, great timing. All right, let's get this started. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Let's go. All right, Crunchy, tell us, what am I running?
You are running. Remember to get powder before Dungeon 2.
Yes, I will remember to get powder before Dungeon 2 this run. I promise.
Good. But this is Link's Awakening Warpless.
Yeah, this is a fun game. I had this game when I was a kid. Really enjoyed it. Did not have the DX version. I have speedrun both of them, but I've kind of come to prefer this one for unknown reasons. Maybe because it's shorter.
Could be. It is kind of nifty, though, that considering that Link's Awakening DX are theoretically supposed to be the same game, just DX with a few extra things. The two runs are incredibly different.
Oops.
There are a whole lot of things you have to keep track of in one game versus the other, and just the way you go through them varies wildly. But that is not to say that this first part is any different, because it isn't. Right here from the get-go, you're going to see Flame bounce off that enemy to get close to the sword so he can grab it before the owl flies away. A little bit.
Didn't get it, yeah.
That's unfortunate.
Not a big time loss, fortunately. So now begins the first fun of this run, rupee duping. I need to get 10 rupees, and I'm going to try and trick the game into giving me extra, as you saw there. Essentially, that works by grabbing the rupee with two different hitboxes at the same time, both with Link's hitbox and the hitbox of either the shield or the sword. And so far, I mean, that's pretty good, having 9. So I need one more, so I can buy, if you will, bombs. Totally legitimate bombs. Oh, and I got a dupe there without even trying.
Flame. I thought you'd told me you had left that life of crime behind.
I lied. Yeah, speaking of crime, we just stole the shovel. That's totally legitimate. As you can see, we just got killed. Alright, now I am Thief. You may call me Thief for the rest of the run.
Alright, so, Thief, now that you have, died, what are you going to do?
I'm going to totally legitimately buy bombs.
Right, so the trick there is, when you select the yes, I'm going to buy these bombs, you also buffer into a save and quit. And the game gives you the bombs, but doesn't count down the money, so you basically get the bombs without paying for them. And the thing is, you actually have to be able to afford them, or that trick doesn't work, which is why he needed to have the 10 rupees.
Yes, and I couldn't spend the 10 rupees because I actually need to spend it right here in the powder I'm remembering to get before D2.
I can't believe you. You get 10 rupees to buy bombs, and instead you spend them all on gambling. Flame.
Yeah, well, more important things happened.
I thought you had gotten back on the wagon. What's happened to you?
So, it's important to note, you only need 2 set of bombs for this run. I got an extra just for marathon safety. There are tricks later on that involve bombs, one of which will be coming up very shortly. And I want to make sure I have plenty of them. And I also want to make sure I have powder before D2, which I do.
And I'm very proud of Thief for remembering to get the powder before D2.
It's definitely not something I completely forgot, my first run back to this game. So, oops, wrong turn, went into the house by accident. Oh no, whatever will I do? Time loss.
You're not going to be up for Academy Award nominations any day soon, Thief.
Oh, good thing I'm not trying.
So anyways, there's a very real reason for that, because unlike some of the DX categories, in Link's Awakening, these categories, saving and quitting is allowed, and when you save and quit, you go back to the most recent door you entered. So he's setting that right there so that after he goes and gets the D1 key here in the Mysterious Woods, he can go ahead and take care of that. And he's going to do that. You might remember you have to actually deal with this. You have to deal with that raccoon, but what you didn't see there was all that nonsense involving the raccoon, because instead
Swag time.
bombs. So everybody remember that bombs are important because you're going to be seeing that again, and we are going to touch upon it a little bit more heavily the next time we see that. But just like that, he's got the D1 key, and he's on his way to D1.
If these enemies would get out of my way, gosh.
No, they're all just, you know, it gets very lonely here on Koholint Island. They never get any visitors, and when they do, they just get so excited.
I went ahead and used the alternate keyhole there. What do I want? There we go.
Yeah, fun thing, you actually have been seeing Flame do it. I'm sorry, you've been seeing Thief do it this entire time. While it's been very subtle, you can clip into a wall literally by walking up to a corner, and just kind of pushing into it. And Link being clipped into a wall allows for a lot of interesting shenanigans, including being able to insert keys on the wrong side of a keyhole, or something you're going to be seeing coming up here called a super jump. Don't worry, it'll be very obvious when it happens.
It's super!
And
enemy, please. Thank you.
And thankfully also, this game, Link's Awakening, does give you one of the most important items right here in the first dungeon. Because, look, friends, let me ask you something. When you play a 2D Zelda, what is one thing you always wished you had, but never
Skill.
did? Yeah. Okay, in-game. Something in-game you wish you had that the game would never give you because it would just be too good.
Link to have skill. Is my answer not correct?
Okay, I'm going to count to 3. Okay, we're fine. Jumping, very good, Thief. I'm so proud of you for getting that. Jumping, yes.
That too, I guess.
This game introduces the Rock's Feather, which lets you jump. Now, if you're clipped into a wall in a dungeon, and you jump against the wall and then press away, the game says, oh, you're obviously trying to jump off a higher platform, and just like that, you can jump over obstacles. That's called super jumping. It only works in dungeons and in very specific overworld locations, but we're going to abuse the dickens out of that throughout this run to skip a whole lot of dungeon stuff. In fact, right here, we're going to do it again. Jump over that wall right there.
Helps if I equip that to the right thing. You know, I'm going to grab this fairy for safety. You know how this can be.
Yeah, Dungeon 1 does give you the best item, but it also gives you one of the genuinely most challenging bosses of the entire run. Right from the get-go, you get Moldorm, and you can fall off this platform. So Flame's going to want to hit Moldorm 4 times in the tail, and hopefully not get knocked off. Oh my god, he just... Oh! My god, Moldorm, no!
What was that fight?
Oh my god, Moldorm was just...
Oh.
Oh my god, he just really wanted to give you smooches.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, Moldorm tried.
Alright.
So if you fall there, you reset the fight. You have to climb back up and do the fight from scratch.
It's really annoying. Now, everybody, seems kind of a silly thing to remember. I want you all to remember the fact that he just walked up and grabbed the full moon cello here, because this is going to be the last time you see Thief just walk up and grab the instrument.
Yes. Hopefully the last time we see a cutscene as well. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah. So you also saw that the mini-boss in that dungeon was kind of a non-entity. The game really doesn't expect you to have the bow and arrow this early, so stealing it doesn't just let you do fun things like bomb arrows, it actually also makes absolute jokes out of a lot of fights along the way. So anyways, so far, this run is very reminiscent of DX. I mean, if you ever watched a DX run, we're going to be just going to go rescue our best friend, the Bow Wow, the goodest doggo of all. Very friend-shaped, as you will soon see.
What I'm not going to do is go the wrong way in here like I did my last run and see a cutscene that I skipped earlier.
Yes, please don't do that.
Okay, I remembered to go the right direction. This is an improvement.
That's why you make those big speedrun dollars.
Hey, heart piece that I don't need.
Yes, we colloquially refer to that as the heart piece of shame because you have to run past it a couple of times, and grabbing it is, well, it's not a point of pride, let's put it that way.
Bad RNG.
Oh gosh, unfortunate placement on these moblins. You want them to get close together so you can ideally hit them with a single spin slash, but unfortunately they don't always cooperate. So this is King Moblin. Ideally we're going to see Thief take care of him in 2 rounds. Looks good. Just have to make sure to hit him with a spin slash.
Got him.
Very nice.
At least there's something I've gotten better at over the years.
You've gotten better at several things. Just don't ask me to name what they are.
Thanks for the vote of confidence.
Ah, don't be like that. And look, we have our friend. There he is, Bow Wow. Isn't he a good boy? Right here, we're gonna see Thief go in the gap between the stone and the tree using what we call a flock clip. Just like that, the text box lets Link move diagonally just a tiny bit.
Come on, Bow Wow, thank you.
There. You have to wait. Now, Bow Wow is actually the most powerful being in the entire Zelda universe. Bow Wow, master of time and space. We'll see why later, but Bow Wow can just eat all sorts of things, including things you didn't think he'd be able to eat. That's half the fun of this run. All right, that's it. We're done with powder. Hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah, so there's a very specific reason I used up all my powder there. You'll see that reason in about 3 minutes.
Yep.
Please tell me I delayed that. Okay.
Yeah, the game actually, powder kind of occupies the same space in your inventory as another item, but we actually have greater need for that other item. We genuinely really only need powder for this dungeon. So once we're done with lighting those 2 torches, we don't need powder anymore. We're just done with it.
Not at all. So one thing you might have noticed there, I have to force myself to remember this. In this dungeon, you need to delay your save and quit menus. Just for whatever reason, I'm sure somebody knows it. If you do it too early, it won't count, and you still get the text that pops up. Did we actually talk about that?
We have not. So
okay, you should do that.
Absolutely. The save and quit menu is one of the most useful things you have in this game, and not just for saving and quitting. It turns out that the save and quit menu, if you open it at the correct time, will actually override text boxes. So opening chests, in some cases just dealing with dialogue and stuff, you can use the save and quit menu and just skip it. And that's what Flame's been doing pretty much every single time he opens a chest, but some of them, particularly here in Dungeon 2, you can't just open them immediately. You have to actually wait a moment to do it. Otherwise, you'll still get the text box. That's what he was saying.
By the way, I hope you enjoyed Dungeon 2.
Yep, so now that we have the croissant, we can have a nice delightful petit déjeuner here. We can actually go and do something else.
Bow Wow, help me out here, because apparently... There we go. Apparently, I forgot how to go through that.
That's fine. 3rd time's the charm. That's how that works, right?
Yes.
But anyways, so now that Thief has gotten rid of the magic powder, he can go get the mushroom. Because the game intends you to use the mushroom to get powder, but the mushroom, at least in Link's Awakening, this is one of the biggest differences between this game and Link's Awakening DX. The mushroom is incredibly useful to us. It'll allow us to skip so many things.
Yeah, it's an interesting item, and unfortunately most of the time when we use it, it's not easy, but it really does save a lot of time. As well as it allows us to completely skip getting an item later on.
Yeah, so I see somebody asking, what about the D2 boss? Don't worry. We're going to come back to D2 later to finish it. We're still not going to fight the boss, but we're going to finish D2.
I hope not. Yeah, that's actually the last dungeon we'll complete. That's just for routing reasons. You noticed? Yeah, you notice I just went over here, and it's not exactly apparent why. That is to unlock one of those warps. We'll be taking that later on our way back to D4, and it's a lot quick. No!
Oh no! Are you? Oh,
I am full of shame right now.
Oh my
I should have just reset the Game Boy at that point.
Finalflame, more like final shame.
I will accept that. So that's nothing more than a time loss at this point.
Time lost. Ah, goodness. But in any case, despite the fact we haven't finished D2, we are still going to be heading on our way to D3. Now, for anyone who might have played this game casually, you might remember that we're supposed to go visit Richard, and he wants us to go get some golden leaves and do a bunch of stuff. And no, how about instead, since we know Richard is going to let us go into the pothole field, we're just going to go into the pothole field. Now, in DX, you might remember we have to do some sort of crazy buffering strats, but in this game, we have the mushroom. So we're just going to jump, use the mushroom to push us to the bottom edge, buffer a pause, and just like that,
fall into a pit.
Go down a screen. Then fall into a pit. Very good.
One day I'll remember the route through this.
Okay, remember, you slash a bush, and if there isn't a hole there, you go.
Important to note, when you grab that leaf that I just did, you want to make sure you grab it on that screen and not on the next screen, or else I believe it's a soft lock.
Yes. It is absolutely possible to accidentally grab that on the same frame you transition, and if you do, that's a soft lock, because the game will register it as a leaf as opposed to what it actually is, which is the slime key.
Yeah, even though it doesn't look like it. By the way, another backdoor entrance right there.
Yep, once again, the wonders of wall clipping, allowing us to use the hidden keyhole. And welcome to the Key Cavern. You might not think so, because we're going to be skipping a bunch of keys, but don't worry, that's what it's called.
Ah, I almost avoided taking damage. I'm at a half heart. That's not good.
Ooh, that's not good at all.
At least I took damage, so, you know, I shouldn't get an acorn anytime soon.
Yep. There's actually 2 reasons why it's important he doesn't die here. He's actually also been killing a whole bunch of enemies on purpose. That's because in this dungeon, you want to actually get the power up you get for killing 30 enemies without dying, which is the piece of power, which hopefully... Oh, there's the acorn. Hopefully you should get it to drop in the same room he gets the same room he kills those teleporting enemies. Because piece of power does 2 things. It makes your hits do double damage, and it also makes you move faster. That's the real reason we want it, because that makes a trip coming up here a lot easier. Man, those acorns are... So you should get it in this room, hopefully.
Yeah, it's there. I'm just bad.
So a piece of power, like I said, makes him move faster. He's going to hopefully use it to do a trick here called the dongle.
Oh, no!
You didn't lose it, did you?
Worse.
Oh, well, I mean, you did lose it, but... Alright, so...
Let's see if I can get it again.
So there are enough enemies in Key Cavern that he should still be able to pull it off, although even if he doesn't, the trick is doable without piece of power. It's just easier with it. Because what he's going to be doing is going to be super jumping, then tinking off the mini-boss, because the mini-boss is always in the same location at the start of the fight, and bouncing over a block. The problem is, piece of power makes you bounce further, which makes it less likely you'll get stuck in the block. But if he's not careful now without it, he might get stuck in the wall and have to save and quit. So we're hopefully not going to have that happen.
Yeah, during practice, I actually had to do it without it and managed to get it. Why am I waiting for a key? There's not going to be one.
No, you're killing the enemies. You're killing the enemies.
Yeah, but I still went to stand for the key, and, you know, oddly enough, there wasn't one.
It's fine, it's fine. Enemies. Enemies. Man, look at all these acorns. You're doing such a good job of not taking damage.
All right, we got the piece of power.
In the exact spot. Nicely done. All right, here we go. Now it's time for the Dongo skip.
Got it!
Yeah. Nice.
Good thing we'll never have to do that again.
Yeah, about that. So anyways, another super jump here, jump over that wall, and here we go, Pegasus boots, back from Link to the Past, and better than ever, now you can actually move while charging them. You don't have to stand still. So you're going to be seeing him basically, whenever possible, just kind of walk around with the smoke before he jumps, and you can do some buffering. Oh, that was not the best buffer.
Oops. I do not... Menu, please.
Yeah, in this game, since the Game Boy does only have 2 buttons, you have to basically switch all your items around, including your sword. You don't have a dedicated sword button. So in that case, he was trying to get the run speed going and then buffer into the jump.
Well, to clarify, you do have a dedicated sword button. It is always A.
I don't know about you, man. When I play this game, it's on B. I think you might just be remembering wrong. But, sorry, something in my throat there. But... buffering in this game does make things easier, but unfortunately you can't buffer quite as cleanly as you do in DX. That is, a lot of folks will actually start speedrunning DX and then move to Link's Awakening because the tricks are very, very different, and also your timing has to be a bit more on point because you can't just cleanly single frame buffer like you do in Link's Awakening DX.
Link, you don't need to talk to the block. It's okay.
Now, the good news is, since we have Piece of Power, that also does make the Dungeon 3 boss a lot easier. This is Slime Eye, and normally you have to break him apart and then attack both halves. Thankfully, with Piece of Power, it's going to be an incredibly short fight. This is a super cool quick kill to get, especially if you suffered with this boss as a kid. So first things first, you split it, then you use a charge. Now that he's split, literally just lands on your sword. No trouble whatsoever.
Yeah,
just
you could do that without jumping. I just grabbed the feather for safety there.
Alright, here we go. Judging by that sound, you did not in fact get the trick. Oh, that's unfortunate. So, you notice that there Flame tried to jump onto the Sea Lily Bell, because now he's going to be trying to go for a trick on every single windfish, on every single instrument, called Instrument Cutscene Skip. What he's trying to do is pull up the... Is it a save and quit menu?
Yes, or no, the regular menu initially, and then save and quit out of that.
Yeah, that's right. Trying to pull up the menu on the exact frame he picks up the instrument, and then that allows him to save and quit and not have to sit through that entire instrument cutscene. It's a frame perfect trick, and there really is no setup for it. You have to kind of do it by feel.
Yeah.
And the reason I said to remember Dungeon 1 was different because ICS, as we call it, Instrument Cutscene Skip, does actually have another side effect. You do get the instrument, but it does not. It causes events that would normally trigger after that dungeon to not happen. So since getting Bow Wow to get into Dungeon 2 is an event that triggers after Dungeon 1, you can't do ICS on Dungeon 1, otherwise you would soft lock, you would not be able to go get Bow Wow.
Ow, get out of my way, enemy. Why won't you move? Oh, damn it, Bow Wow! Well, rip that idea.
And speaking of Bow Wow, I see some folks asking why we haven't returned Bow Wow. That's because Bow Wow is actually such a good friend that we want to have him around for the rest of the adventure. And also because Bow Wow is actually extremely useful to us, and you're going to be seeing why a little bit later. But hey, so you remember earlier on when the whole raccoon thing just didn't happen and I said to remember bombs? Well, you're about to see the most shining example of why bombs are so great. Right here, just like that.
I really hope I didn't soft lock this, because I may have, but fortunately it took a safety save and quit just before this, just in case.
Alright, so now y'all might be hearing Marin singing, but Marin isn't here. Well, you see, what happens is, instead of having to go and get Marin and bring her back, which takes forever, we're actually doing something called bomb triggers. Basically what happens is, using a screen transition, you can drop 2 bombs within 4 frames of each other, which normally you can't do. And the game puts the second bomb into the wrong memory location, which causes events to trigger on whatever screen you're on. So in that case, it activates the Walrus cutscene even without Marin being present. But that one is extra dicey. The reason why Flame took that safety save is because you have to actually get the Walrus to fall off, you see that first dialogue box, and then leave the screen. Because if you don't leave at that exact point, the rabbit comes out, looks for Marin, and the game doesn't see Marin, and you're soft locked. But if you leave too early, before that dialogue box, the Walrus comes back. So it's a very specific timing that he has to get. The positioning is very important. And that was Landmolus, Master of Invisibility, already dead.
I was actually really worried that I'd messed that up, so I'm happy that I did not.
Yeah, that is a recurring thing the game does, which is we take advantage of, which is Link's Awakening and DX alike both like to have boss hitboxes appear before the boss themselves appear. So we can take full advantage of that. We're going to abuse it here and in Dungeon 6 mainly. You'll see that again, don't you worry.
Hey, so did you guys know Dungeon 4 is a back entrance?
Does it?
Yes, it does.
Man, even the fish is surprised. Look at his face.
I should have waited on that menu, actually. Because I need feather.
So another fun difference between Link's Awakening and DX are the differences in what we consider out of bounds. Because in this game, you can do what is called... we're going to do a super jump right here to get up onto the ceiling here. That would not be allowed in DX. The definition out of bounds in DX would forbid that. But in Link's Awakening, it's a little bit more loose, so that is completely permitted. We can get in Dungeon 4 faster.
Yeah. Pretty sure I don't actually need those bombs, but just to be on the safe side once again.
Hey, marathon safety, you are just playing it responsibly.
Because we don't want to get to the end of the game and suddenly have no bombs. I actually wanted speed before trying to jump to my death, thank you, game.
No, Thief. What you wanted was speed before jumping to your life. Nothing?
I have no comment, no.
Dang, tough crowd. Alright, so anyways, this is Dungeon 4. Dungeon 4, the Angler's Tunnel. The big prize of this game is a single flipper. The game is too cheap to give you 2, you only get 1, but it's okay. Link has very dainty feet, he manages to fit both into a single flipper.
I should have just jumped in the water to begin with. That would have been a lot quicker. I do like grabbing those hearts just for safety. You'll see a lot of safety in this run.
Why are the rules different in DX? Genuinely just honestly just community decisions. I don't think there's any specific reason for it.
Yeah, pretty much. So this trick is really dumb. There we go.
But honestly, we are okay with it just because it makes the 2 runs a lot more distinct.
Yeah, I really like the rule set for this, but I don't mind the rule set for either.
Yeah, I mean, it basically gives you 2 entire games worth of categories, and they play very, very differently despite being very similar games.
That was not the cleanest cue ball. I'm going to take that fairy.
You know, sometimes that's
There we go.
alright. Sometimes cue balls get dirty, you know, all those blue chalk stains on them.
Yeah, that one was pretty dirty. All right, I got the single flipper.
The single flipper. Now you can swim and dive.
Super laggy part here. So I really like the trick coming up. It's a super jump, but there's a lot more to this one, as you're going to see.
Yes, this one is super cool. You're going to this one actually is a timing thing. He's going to super jump and then tink off the P-hat, but he has to wait for the P-hat to be in the air so that he gets the height to land on this higher up platform, just like that to get the dungeon boss key. And now also, because the game gives you this Rock's Feather, which is so great, but doesn't actually account for how much you can abuse it. You're just going to jump over this really weird gap, and now go fight Anglerfish, the boss. Now, there's a few things to know about Anglerfish. One, you can shoot bomb arrows downward, and 4 bomb arrows finishes them off, just like that. And 2, that skull down there is our poor friend Crevone.
Did you know you can't hookshot down?
Yes, Crevone, who learned the hard way you can't hookshot down and died to Anglerfish that day. And ooh!
I messed it up. I had it.
That was close. Like we said,
Yeah.
It's a frame perfect trick.
I had it and just somehow instinctively went to save and quit because I'm so used to doing that.
Yeah, no, we can't overstate enough how difficult instrument cutscene skip is. Even the best runners don't usually get it every single time in a run.
Can we count that as a half?
I'll give you half on that one because you got the hardest part. Oh gosh,
right.
pardon me.
So, very important now that we stay on the mountain. Now, you might be thinking we're not on a mountain. We're technically, I guess, in the mountain range, if you will, whatever you want to call it.
We're at the base of Tal Tal Heights.
So, why do we want to stay here?
Well, because we already have our best friend and we don't need another one, quite frankly. Or to be less cryptic, once you beat Dungeon 4, once you beat the boss, there is a side story quest that happens where a ghost starts following you around. And if the ghost is with you, you have to finish that ghost quest because you can't enter dungeons while it's following you. Fortunately for us, the ghost only appears if you go a certain number of screens south. So as long as we stay in the mountains, the ghost won't appear. But wait, you say, but there are dungeons down there. How do we get to those dungeons? Well, there is another way we can deal with that
Dang
ghost. And
I'm sorry, I'm not getting obstacle skip. I'm not wasting more time on that.
run invalidated, no obstacles.
I feel horrible. This is the first time I missed that in literally like a year.
Ooh, this man. All right, but now we're in the Tal Tal Heights, which has one of the best tunes in the game. I love this tune. And now it's also time to do one of the most if you've ever played Link's Awakening DX or seen the run, Rooster Skip is one of the big gatekeeping tricks. In this game, we do Rooster Skip, which is...
No!
Oh no, did you not Rooster Skip?
Oh, I didn't even get close to that.
No,
And by the time I realized I had no time to save it with a mushroom.
That's why Rooster Skip is such a costly trick in DX and even in this game, because if you mess it up, you go back outside. It takes you about 20 to 30 seconds to get back.
Link is too afraid to come back in here, apparently.
Yeah. Thankfully, in this game, you don't have to do the nonsense with the hook shot and buffered jumps and all that stuff. In this game, because, again, out-of-bounds rules are different, we're just going to do a bit of a super jump onto the ceiling and just go get that key. But you have to be careful. You cannot go off the screen and to the left there, because if you do, then you are officially out of bounds by the Link's Awakening rule set and your run is invalid. So it's actually very easy to accidentally kill your run there if you go too far to the left on that super jump.
Yeah, you just really want to make sure not to do a full super jump or you're unfortunately done for the day.
Yep. But we are not done here today. We are going to continue onward now with the... I just forgot what the key was called. The
D7 key.
The D7 key. Yes, exactly. That's what it says on the big key ring. Time to go to Dungeon 7. And we're also going to learn why Bow Wow is the ultimate friend and one of the most powerful beings in the Zelda universe.
Oh no, Crunchy. I just remembered we need to hookshot to get across this pit. What am I going to do?
Oh no! If only there was some way to tell physics to go away and take a long walk off a short pier. Oh wait, you have the mushroom. Just like that. The mushroom once again proves why it's such a useful item in this game.
Indeed.
When Link is holding up the mushroom, he is so excited by his love for fungus that he does not care that he's not standing on anything. Well, anyways.
Thank you, Bow Wow. That was quick.
And just like that, hey, he can move. There's supposed to be a cutscene of the dungeon opening. Oh, wait, it's open. So, it turns out, if you have another sprite on the screen when you put the key in the keyhole, Bow Wow gets hungry, and he eats that sprite. But that sprite isn't actually the thing it looks like. That sprite has the value of the cutscene attached. So basically, long story short, Bow Wow eats the cutscene.
It was pretty sweet.
Bow Wow eats the cutscene, which means you don't have to wait for the tower to spin around, you can just go. And Dungeon 7 is one of my favorite dungeons because I hated it as a kid, but now with bomb triggers, we can just break the pillars!
2 for 2.
We can just break the pillars.
Ah, I missed that one.
Yeah, the game wants you to basically go get this big metal ball, throw it at the pillars, and it's annoying. Instead, we just use bomb triggers, because as we established, they cause events to happen on whatever screen you're on, and guess what? Pillars breaking are events, and just like that, that whole long puzzle is finished, and we turned this 4-story tower into a 3-story tower.
Now, there's a little more to this dungeon than meets the eye. First of all, you do have to do them in that order. And there's also a Zol that I killed before I did that. You have to kill that Zol, or it will not work.
Yep, that's the fun thing about bomb triggers, is that they work on a lot of places, but there's sometimes really weird arcane stuff you have to do. You also saw early on when he did the first one with the raccoon, he actually had to kill that one moblin. The one specific moblin had to die, or that bomb trigger for the raccoon would not have worked. And here we go, this is called Goomba Surf. Looks like you got it. Just charge out of there.
There
nice.
we go.
That is the best luck right there. That is what you want to see every time, so congratulations.
So we're gonna bomb this boss to death. There's no trick to that. We're literally just going to bomb him to death.
My favorite thing is this guy's like, you killed my brothers, now you must die. We're like, dude, I just met you. Your brothers are flying directly above your head. Why you gotta be so dramatic? But anyways, Thief is just going to drop some bombs. They're going to stick at the bottom of the screen, and they are going to absolutely kill the eagle. Thankfully, dropping a bomb, picking it up, and throwing it gives you the exact timing you need to make sure that it explodes right as the eagle is coming up. 3 bombs. So long, Evil Eagle.
I really love that kill. Yeah. I would have loved it even more if I'd grabbed the heart.
The thing I love so much about the D7 boss is that I hated this boss as a kid because you had to do the nonsense with the shield. But regardless of what category you run this in, there's
early.
There are so many ways just absolutely clown on Evil Eagle. That boss can never be taken seriously once you start speedrunning this game.
So unfortunately, I was either a frame or 2 early on that, and I tried timing the second pause and just couldn't get it. So after this dungeon, you're meant to fall down, fall into a pit, go to the water. Hopefully I won't be doing that.
Hopefully not. Remember to save and quit. Save and quit menu, one of your best tools.
See, that's the part where I usually mess up, is I'm thinking, oh, this is the time when I open up the map, right? And next thing you know, I go down into a pit.
Yeah.
And if you do that, it's a huge time loss.
Yeah, that particular pit actually drops you down in the water back near the entrance to D4. So thankfully the save and quit menu unlocks your movement in midair so you can avoid that pit, but that's one where you definitely don't want to mess it up. Now,
on to the worst part of the run.
The part where you just... Poor Marin.
Oh, I'm not even thinking that right now. Okay, we got the first one.
Time for more mushroom jumps. And now it's time to, unfortunately, leave Marin here because...
Oops.
This part hurts my soul just because...
Nope, well, fudge.
I got this game when I was like 10, 11 years old, and young me had a very big soft spot for Marin, so now we just have to leave her there because otherwise the cutscene we have to sit through takes forever. Actually, no, it takes like 5 ever.
Dumbest jump in the run, right here.
Yes, in Link's Awakening, this is the dumbest jump, because here's what we're going to have to do. The game wants you to use the hookshot, but instead we're going to use the mushroom. We have to get all the way down to that bottom wall using the mushroom. If we're too high up, we're going to have to mushroom and then chain mushroom jumps until we're stuck in that wall, which takes a while.
Yeah, we might be here for a while. Y'all have time to go grab some coffee, a snack, whatever you'd like.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'd say this is probably the biggest gatekeeping trick of Link's Awakening Warpless.
Oh, nope. Almost had it.
The wall. And even once you get into the wall, you have to jump up to that platform, and it's a pretty tight jump, because once you're in the wall, you have to jump pretty specifically, or you'll just fall. So this is, yeah, just like that.
If y'all been wanting to catch up on something on Netflix, maybe?
I believe in you, Flame. I believe in you. It's rough.
Oh, come on!
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah, like I said, unfortunately, this is one of the most annoying tricks in the entire run.
Please be good.
Mushroom is useful, it doesn't make using it easy.
Please be good. Okay, there we go. I'm not even mad because, yeah, that's how that trick goes.
All right, so now now we're sitting directly under that one cabbage vendor from Bossing Say. Look at all these cabbages just falling down the cliff.
Yeah, and it's very laggy there because the game does not expect you to have our friend here.
Yeah, Bao just going on an adventure right here. So some of you might also be wondering, hey, aren't you supposed to have the level 2 shield to get through this tunnel? Yes, you are. But guess what? Wall clipping. So we're just going to clip into the left-hand wall there. I don't think you're clipped into the wall.
I'm purposely not clipped because there's an issue.
Oh, your health's too low.
Yeah.
The flame does hurt, so he's going to clip into the wall. And
Oh. Been a while since I've done that.
Oh, God. Yeah, the flame hurts a lot. Ideally, you only take 2 hits.
One hit. 2 hits is what killed me. Oh, why did I jump down? Well, we're doing that again, so if you missed it the first time, just pay attention.
About it.
I really would like to get more health.
So over here we have Finalflame being a little bit less than ideal at flame skip. I can't imagine why. But yeah, thankfully being able to clip into the wall lets us skip having level 2 shield. And you might also say, hey, you don't have the ocarina, and that's okay, we have bombs. Link, I don't know if anybody here knows, Link went to Juilliard and he's a classically trained bomb karina player, so he can play music out of anything that's explosive and has a fuse.
So I'm tempted to take another death here just to fill up on health, but there is a health refill bit through the dungeon. It won't top me off, but I think it'll be enough to get me by.
Alright, well, Dungeon 8 here. Thankfully, yeah. Hopefully you can get to that heart before too much else goes wrong, because goodness knows a lot of things will kill you here in Dungeon 8.
Hey, did we talk about actual legitimate bomb arrows?
I mentioned it briefly, but bomb arrows are amazing. They're honestly the best reason to get the bow, because bombs take a while to explode, but if you have bombs and arrows and you press the buttons together, I think it's like a 4-frame gap.
And it is perfectly intended by the game, by the way. It's not a speedrun trick.
Yeah, that's actually intended. It's pretty cool. Lets you just make things explode and blow things up that otherwise... See, like those walls he blew up? There's lava in front of them, so you can't just throw a bomb. Bomb arrows let you blow up those walls from the other side, which is convenient.
Yeah, we found out that was actually intended thanks to, I believe it was the trailer for LAS. I meant to have a sword equipped. Alright,
but thankfully, super jumps, bomb arrows, and all sorts of fun tricks means that we can get through Dungeon 8 a lot faster than intended, because this is an absurdly long dungeon. But it's all worth it, because in this game, in this dungeon, we get what is the big prize. The item that makes this category really come alive.
The magic rod.
The magic rod. You might be saying, do you mean fire rod? Oops. Oh, no. We mean magic rod, because what it does, it can only be described as magic.
You know, it really is.
And you will see why very, very shortly. So here's the fun thing about the magic rod. You're only technically supposed to be able to use it once, and then that flame, when you hit something, lingers on screen. You can't use it again. It's kind of annoying. But it turns out, if you activate the magic rod at the same time you're transitioning, that's what you see him doing the pause there, it basically ends up firing infinity magics, and it overloads the buffer count. So when you transition onto the next screen, things don't load. Things don't load.
I always call it deloading, which is definitely a misnomer, because you're not deloading anything, you're preventing it from loading.
Exactly. So there should have been a cue ball fight there, but because there was sprite overload, cue ball didn't load, and now save and quit again. We transition down here. This is not going out of bounds. This is still considered in the D8 tile set. And just like that, we got the level 2 bracelet.
Which is very good because that triggers the ghosts that we talked about earlier from not spawning. And now we're done with D8 for a while.
Yes, indeed.
Okay. So now we're actually heading to D6. It's kind of a weird route. At this point, we're just going to be flying through the rest of the game.
Yeah, we decided that dungeon order was a little bit too square, baby. So we're gonna do this in whatever order we want. So we're gonna go do D6.
I'm thinking I might pick up the fairy fountain by D6, since I am a little low on health. Important to note, we will not be getting any more heart containers for the rest of this run, because we will be not fighting any more bosses.
Uh-huh. So remember we said earlier we'll be back to D2, we won't be fighting the boss? Well, turns out that the whole thing with the magic rod works on not just mini bosses, it works on bosses, as you will see very soon.
So this is truly the laggiest part of the game, because you should not have Bow Wow here. The game does not like it.
No.
I mean, you can hear it in the music, you can see it in the movement. Bow Wow, I'd actually like to get a few more arrows.
Yeah, but the good news for us, though, is that if Bow Wow does eat Armos, it'll always drop an arrow.
Really? The one time I'm good at not taking damage.
Flame, good news! You're gonna take half damage! Oh, and it's gone. So this is Armos Knight.
That was Armos Knight.
Yeah, Magic Rod is actually an exceedingly powerful weapon as well as being magical, so it's also really good for dealing with bosses. And that's the face key. It's very excited to be here, as you can tell.
And now we have to go back through this. Maybe I'll get a few arrows.
Fingers crossed.
I don't even know what my arrow count is right now. Did you catch that by chance?
No, but I will catch it next time you pull up the menu.
13. So I'll be at 23. Yeah, I should be good. Well, like, if this Armos would get out of my way, thank you. Yeah, I think I'll be alright on arrows. There we go. Now I'm getting a couple. I also couldn't move because I'm bad.
Nah, you're making sure Bow Wow has enough time to eat his fill, because Bow Wow is friend to you and you are friend to Bow Wow.
I am not friend to that Tektite I just hugged. Yeah, I'm gonna grab the fairy fountain, assuming I don't die before it.
Don't worry, I'm sure it'll be fine.
Okay.
Thankfully, there is a fairy fountain right here, conveniently enough, no problem.
Yeah, I'd like to not die. 2 hearts is a little low for my taste. Oh my gosh, the lag. I never noticed this before.
Okay, it passes. Well, now, D6, when you open it up, actually rises out of the ground. It's a pretty cool cutscene, but hey, guess what? Cutscenes take time, so thankfully, Bow Wow, it's past Bow Wow's feeding time again. I know we just fed him, but he's hungry again, you know how it be.
Oh, not this pit.
Oh, are you... Come on, Flame. There you go. So we're going to feed Bow Wow the Dungeon 6 cutscene as well.
No, we're not. Oh, yeah, we are. And an extra bomb.
There we go. No problem. Welcome to the Face Shrine. Its theme is kind of obvious, I think.
We are going to make quick work of this place compared to how it should look casually.
Yep, and that there's supposed to be a tile puzzle there, but no, because we prevented it from loading. There's supposed to be a bunch of wizards in the next room, but no, we prevented them from loading.
Including, incidentally, a bomb refill.
Yeah. That is the downside. When you stop things from loading, you don't just stop enemies from loading, you also stop good things from loading. So it's a give and a take.
That was not good.
Oh, are you...
There we go.
Okay, I was about to say, oh gosh, you're not stuck in the wall, are you? There you go.
I was, but, you know, I probably could have boopsed out of it. I'm not sure. I didn't think of that till afterwards.
Nah, it's all right. There we go. There you get to throw a jar at a chest to open it up. That's how it works.
Did we touch on movement in this game, specifically diagonal movement?
No, but I can touch upon it briefly if you like.
Yeah, go for it.
All right, so this game actually lets you move diagonally, which not all Zeldas let you do. Unfortunately, if you're trying to move, if you're not trying to move diagonally, if you're actually trying to go up and you just move diagonally, it actually slows you down. Which is why you'll see Flame oftentimes, if he's trying to move diagonally, he'll jump, because if you're jumping diagonally, you're moving at normal speed. It's kind of weird. I'm still not sure why it is like that. I don't think any of us really are, but that's fine. There's a puzzle in this next room? No, there isn't.
There's not much in here. I am going to take one more refill.
All right, and the Dungeon 6 boss is unfortunately would be normally a great example of attacking an enemy before its hitbox is available, before it's visible. But Facade isn't here because we didn't let him be here. And here's the instrument. And
And there's the instrument. Hope you're enjoying it.
This is incidentally the sound effect I use for getting a raid on my stream.
Did not know that.
Yep.
Alright, that's D6. Now off to D5, which is usually a pain, but thanks to, you know, what we've been doing here, it's not that bad.
And D5 also has a really cool extra wrinkle to it that I really like.
So I just prevented an owl from spawning and talking to us. I actually tried to bomb trigger at first, which is why I opened the window, before remembering, wait a second, this is LA, not LADX.
Yeah. We could... Wait, we have the power of magic.
Say hello to the mermaid. We're not helping her. Bye, mermaid.
Yeah, fun fact, in the Japanese version, the mermaid did not drop her necklace, she dropped her swimsuit top.
I guess the US couldn't handle that.
What? You mean women wear swimsuits? Not on my
There we go.
watch.
So it's a little faster if you mash the jump button there and do it properly. I wanted to map there. Unfortunately, I did not do it properly.
So everybody, welcome to Catfish's Mod. This is Dungeon 5. It actually has a really cool, like, thematically has a really cool gimmick for how the items work in this dungeon. The dungeon item is supposed to be the hook shot, and the way you get it is you find the chest, and there's inside of it, there's a note from Master Stalfos saying, I've stolen the contents of this chest. You must fight me to get it back. So you have to fight him in 4 different rooms all over the dungeon in specific order to get the hook shot. And it's kind of annoying, but kind of cool, because I can't think of any other Zelda game that does something like that. But at the same time, as we've already established, it's annoying because slow. So we're going to, we're just gonna not get the hook shot, because we don't need it. We just don't need it.
Yeah, I really appreciate that we don't need it, because, yeah, it's slow.
However,
peace, please.
There is one cool thing. So some of you, after discovering bomb arrows, might have found out that you can actually kill Master Stalfos early on one of the 3 fights before the final fight. But if you do that, you don't actually get the hook shot. You just get a small key, because you're not supposed to be able to kill him. He's supposed to fly off. But we actually are going to kill him one time on purpose.
We are?
Oh, do you not do that route?
I didn't know there was a route where we killed him.
Okay, never mind then. Take back what I said. Ignore it.
Maybe I'm out of date on this.
The last time I saw someone, wait, no. Oh wait, no. I might be thinking of I'm thinking of No Woob. Never mind. There's a lot of categories to keep straight. I'm gonna blame that one on me. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
So I don't need to mushroom that, but it does make the jump a little bit better. In that case, I think I was a hair short, so I decided to use a mushroom just to make sure I got it.
Yeah, I was thinking of No Woob. I'm sorry about that. But that is.
Wait, why am I deloading? I don't need to do that.
That is your fun fact, though. If you kill Master Stalfos early, he does not drop the hook shot. He just drops a small key.
So I've learned, I forget who it was that gave me the advice, never do that trick in the water, or else it sometimes doesn't actually work.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah. I think because your movement speed is slower on the
That
transition.
makes sense. But anyways, since we're not getting the hook shot, we're already done with the dungeon. We're just going to head straight to the boss and then proceed to not fight it.
Alright, we're not going to mess this up, right?
Certainly Certainly not. I believe in you, Flame. You got this.
Well, there's one.
Dang it, thief.
There's two.
You know?
Oh, come on.
Whenever I'm giving you guff, I call you thief, and whenever I'm saying you're doing great, I call you Flame.
I just don't want to lose any more health right now, so I'm mushroom buffering this to the bottom where I promptly failed.
Perfect.
Oh, come on, Link. I might actually die here.
It's okay. It's okay.
Yep, I didn't even get a jump that time.
It's all right. Well, now you get your health back, and you can go take care of this with full health. It's fine. Don't worry.
Close to full.
Yeah.
The worst part is that's not even one of the harder tricks in the run. I'm just bad at it.
Yeah, like Flame did mention before, the definite downside to this category is that since we are skipping the boss fights, not only do we not get the
Oh, no!
containers.
Nope. Okay, I'll fight you guys instead.
Not only do we not get the heart containers, we also don't get the health refills at the end of the dungeon, so health management becomes even more important than it would normally be.
There we go. We're not fighting that guy today.
Yeah, get out of here, Master Stalfos. Nobody likes you. Last time we invited you to the party, you ate all the potato salad, and we had to kick you out.
I'm starting to think I should learn this no woob category on the fly.
Learn what the no woob?
Just so I don't have to do this stupid jump.
Yeah, no woob. It actually used to be a lot more similar to no squoob, but then there's been a lot of changes to it recently. I actually saw the most recent route maybe like I think a week or two ago, and it actually surprised me. That's just one of the things that's so great about Link's Awakening and DX. There's so many different categories, and all of them have a lot of really cool differences.
Y'all, this run might be going over. Oh my gosh. And I got caught in the wall.
More like going under, because you're going into the wall.
Okay. Can I save this?
Yes, you can!
Okay, we're not dead yet.
Got him.
Okay, now we're dead. This is called Dumb Jump. Can you all figure out why it's called Dumb Jump?
The irony is the other dumb jump you got first try.
I know, go figure. Yes, we have multiple dumb jumps in our game.
Yeah, the other dumb jump was the one to get the boss key, which you saw him. He had it without the mushroom, but he mushroomed for safety. But
I think there's a heart in this room.
You got this. You got this.
Link. There we go.
Don't open the chest.
There we go. Nah, I did want to grab another heart just for, again, safety. Safety's the word of the day.
This stream brought to you by the number 3, the letter B, and the word safety.
Alright, we're going to get it first try.
I believe.
See? First try.
First try every time.
So it's very important you do the skip there, because we literally cannot beat that boss.
Yep, this boss requires the hook shot. Alright, so this is the Wind Marimba. Fun fact, this is the game that taught young Crunch what a marimba was. Which I'm pretty sure makes me, we're pretty sure was a shame to all of my ancestors and my Latin heritage. There you go. It is what it is.
Alright, so now we are on cleanup.
Alright.
So we've been to every dungeon, but we haven't completed Dungeon 8 or Dungeon 2. So it is now our goal to go do that. And the reason we delay them, Dungeon 2 specifically, because it's a lot quicker, I think this is the right way, it's just a lot quicker to do it with the magic rod than it is to actually fight the boss. Dungeon 8, if we leave it there with the warp, it's just convenient for routing. As well as Dungeon 2 as well, because the Windfish Egg is right by it.
Yeah, thankfully Dungeon 8, the warp out of Dungeon 8 is at the entrance right next to the warp is one room away from the boss door, so it's just convenient.
So there's a secret coming up here. This hopefully will be the last health refill we grab. There's a fairy inside this tree, you just have to bonk on it.
Yep. it's one of those things where you hope to not need it, but if you need it, it's there, and it's not terribly slow to grab it. So, but yeah, no, you're on the home stretch here.
Indeed.
There is, however, this particular super jump here in Dungeon 8 always gave me a lot of trouble. It's not an easy one, because you have to actually line up onto the lava tile. It's really easy to go into the lava, and if you screw it up, you land in the lava hair, just like that. You have to time it so that you land on that little border, and then jump from the border onto over, just like that. Perfect.
I had been struggling a lot with that, so at least I got something rather quickly.
And there we go. That was where Hothead should be, but we didn't let Hothead be there.
And that time I was early. So I've gotten half of an ICS, with one more chance to go.
Does that mean I win for being the closest without going over? Oh wait, no, I went completely over. Dang!
No, you said 6, and I told you maybe 6 misses.
Well, Flame, I truly believed you could have gotten 6. My heart was big enough to hold all the faith I had, and I believe you're capable of it, even though you didn't get it here today, alright?
Okay. So yeah, that head, we didn't really talk much about it earlier. It just didn't have a hitbox there. I could kind of walk through to the side. Now we're going back to Dungeon 2 and should hopefully make quick work of that and not do what I did in practice the other day and accidentally fight the boss. Because once you start it, you're committed.
Yeah, and the Dungeon 2 boss is one of the more annoying bosses, not just because the boss itself is annoying, but because it's multiple phases and slow. But we do get to see this hidden tunnel here. Well, this tunnel here, which normally you don't get to see in other categories.
Why did I immediately kill the thing that was right in front of me?
Okay, so about this room, you're supposed to kill the enemies in a certain order, not that order.
Oh, I didn't know if that would work or not. Yeah, I know better. I just was not thinking.
Just autopilot. Stalfos I stees, Stalfos I send to the app.
I really was just on autopilot. Hello, Link. Can you do what I say, not what I tell you to do, please?
Can you do what I say,
Or
not what I tell
do
you?
what I think.
Play.
Look,
You're
it's been a
giving
long
the
day, okay?
Signals.
So some fun shenanigans coming up here.
Do what I say, not what I say. So Pegasus Boots and Rock's Feather again. Once again, a match made in heaven, not terribly unlike chocolate and peanut butter. Just like that.
You know what? Let's not be stupid about this one.
I'm very much in favor of not being stupid about this one. All right, so here we go. Just going to make sure that our friend the clown genie doesn't appear here because we don't like him. There we go, perfect. And here we go.
We got it.
You got it. That, my friends, is an instrument cutscene skip.
At least we got one this run. I told you I'd been averaging one.
That's what happens.
On to...
You skip that entire cutscene, and if you get all of them, that is a massive time save.
Oh yeah, it's huge.
All right, there's supposed to be an owl there. Now it's time for Link to take his musical training to the fullest here and play the bomb like his life depends on it to activate the instrument cutscene.
And now is also a time when I open a couple things.
Cool. And while you open that, he's preparing something for the final boss fight. I'm going to open this thermos and take a drink of coffee. So, Flame, you're doing real good so far, and I'm really happy that they let this run in because this is a Link's Awakening kind of tends to be kind of shoved behind DX and also the new Switch remake. So I'm really glad that we got the chance to show off this category because it is such a cool category.
It is. It's a lot of fun. I'd say it's pretty beginner friendly, both this game and LADX. And I'd highly recommend people check it out if you're looking for another speed game.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's such a wide variety of categories at different lengths that, I mean, chances are if you want to play the game and one category doesn't appeal to you, there is another category.
Did you know it helps if I actually play the video game?
What? Play a video game?
Yeah, instead of sit there on text screen.
Okay, so real quick before we get to the final boss, so this is the Windfish's egg. You might remember you're supposed to do a big long trading sequence to read a book to know what the path is. Well, turns out before you read that book, the path isn't set, or more specifically, there's a default path. So we know what that default path is: left, left, up, right, right, up, left, up. So we just do that.
Oh my gosh! Of all things to miss, that's not good. I have to save and quit out of this.
Oh dang, we're about to get the jam though.
Yeah, I am actually. I have to save and quit out of that because I don't have powder, and you're meant to have powder to kill that.
Yeah.
There is a way of doing it, but I don't actually know it, and it's honestly gonna be faster to just do this.
Flame, you didn't have to say that. I was gonna cover for you.
Well, I did.
Dang it, Flame. I'm trying to make you look good.
I genuinely don't know the last time I missed that.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's the last bomb trigger of the run right there, and a very important one, because if you skip that, you skip that entire long dialogue. Unfortunately, it disables the jam and music. But most importantly, it makes, just like that, it makes Nightmare appear in a different spot, which gives us the setup for the blob quick kill, which is important. Because if you don't get the quick kill, you have to use the powder to kill the blob, and we don't have the powder because we have the mushroom.
Well, we're doing that again. I don't even know what went wrong there, to be honest with you.
It's genuinely too bad that it's not like DX, because in DX you can use the mushroom to kill the blob.
By the way, y'all, sorry, this run's going over estimate. I think it might be the first time I've ever gone over on an estimate. It was bound to happen.
Well, Flame, you know what? There's a first time for everything, and honestly, the real estimate was the friends you made along the way.
Well, they certainly weren't friends on Koholint Island.
Well, no, God, why would you even think about the fact that they're going away? I have so few friends as it is, Flame!
Okay, let's try this again.
So the trick here is he's trying to get this quick kill set up, which will make the blob land on the sword, and then the blob will pretty much just die instantly. Gosh, it's a real weird trick.
Yeah, I'm actually not sure why it's failed.
There's a few things that he has to get, including making sure the sword comes out without the swing sound effect, and being in a very specific position. If he does it right, the blob just kind of lands and jiggles in place a bunch of times, and then dies without having to use the powder. It's critical, again, it's critical he gets this, since he doesn't have the powder, and at this point in time, going to get the powder would be about equivalent to just saving and quitting many more times, so it'll be fine. He's got this. Once he gets past that point, the rest of the fight, we got setups for all of it. You're going to watch him turn the Nightmare fight into an absolute three-ring circus.
What is going on?
I'm supposed to walk up to the wall before it lands?
No, so I bonk against the wall, and that actually puts me on the right, what is it, X or Y pixel, whichever one it is. Or, yeah, but before he lands, yes. Am I? Wait. I'm confused, Crunchy. Don't confuse me.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe I am late on that.
I might be thinking of DX, so ignore me, because I've run more DX than LA.
Y'all, we're getting through this run. I promise you, we are getting through this run.
Oh yeah, we're absolutely getting through this run.
No matter how many tries this takes me.
All right, Spice Father, who is in the chat, who is if Spice Father says something about this game, you listen, because he knows he says, I think pausing before you land from bonk is making you not go as far down.
Maybe. I feel like that's where I usually pause, but, you know, who am I to judge?
Incidentally, if anybody does want to learn this game, Spice Father did give a link to the Link's Awakening Discord, and that's for any version of this game, LA, LADX, or the Switch version.
There we go.
Same server. Here we go.
All right, let the real fun of this begin.
Nice. Now comes the fun part. So this part is Aghanim, just like Aghanim from Link to the Past. The difference is, unlike Link to the Past, there is no maximum number of blue balls you can get before you get the yellow balls. You get 2 free yellow balls, and after that you're up to fate. But we know how to manipulate. Basically, Flame has a chart open. Depending on where Aghanim is, he knows where to stand to make sure he gets those guaranteed yellow balls. Otherwise, it can be real.
Oh, it didn't quite work. So I must have been a pixel off there.
Oh, dang it.
Now we're just at the mercy of RNG.
Oh no, 2 blue balls.
Okay, and this is actually kind of scary, so I'm going to take it easy from now on, because I'm kind of low on health.
Yeah, because
okay, there we go.
Even with all the tricks we have, this fight still does a lot. All the bosses do a lot of damage, particularly Deathel, the final form. And since arrow count is so important, we really want to be. We really gotta be careful here.
Yeah, and I'm going to take more damage here, unfortunately. So.
All right, so that was Moldworm quick kill. That's a really cool one. Basically, you get him before he starts moving. It's so much faster than chasing him around the room. We just body slam into Shadow Ganon a bunch of times, but we do take some hits. And here's Landmolus once again. That was Landmolus. Merry Christmas. And here we are. It's time for Deathel, the final phase. 16 arrows directly into his eye hole, but these arms hurt like mad. Flame does not want to get hit even a single time here. It's 2 hearts per hit, isn't it?
I don't want to find out.
I'm pretty sure it is, so you really don't want to get hit here.
Like, I'm going to take it super easy here, just because I don't want to get hit. So, like, I'm fine missing an eye opening like I did.
Yeah. This is another big randomness thing here, because as you see, Deathel is taking forever to open his eyes. Sometimes he'll just open it 4 times in a row, and you get 16 arrows in 4 cycles. But
now is when it gets harder.
Yeah. And then after a while, the cycle starts getting a little bit out of whack, just like this. Ooh! He's getting out of position. Ooh! 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 Thankfully, touching his body is less painful than touching the arms. You really don't want to touch the arms. So, playing it safe here. He's got enough arrows, but he has to make sure to do it here, because otherwise, if he has to save and quit, if he has to restart, he's gonna have to go get some more arrows. Come on, Flame. Come on, Flame.
One more hit, I believe. Okay. Didn't die to Deathel.
Didn't die to Deathel. Brought death to Deathel instead. Just
oh my
like
gosh.
That, we have beaten the nightmares, and we have made everyone on the island
I am so sorry for going that much over.
Sorry. You showed everyone how cool this category is. Dang, this is such a cool run.
It was a run, all right.
Yeah.
Definitely a lot of fun, even with the those amazing mishaps. Apparently, I learned something about the final boss today. At the very least, I had a clean Deathel. I mean, that's the important part.
Yeah, Deathel is no joke, especially in this category where you're low on hearts. Those arms would have outright killed him if he had touched them, but he dodged them like a champ.
Yeah, at that point, you're just better off playing it safe, taking a time loss, because if I had died, I could have just hard reset and still had all those arrows and bombs, but then I'd have to go through all that again. As you can see, it's, relatively speaking, a long fight. So, just, I guess, thank you for having me. Again, apologies for going over. It happens. What can you do? I think we were ahead of schedule. Hope you guys enjoyed both of my runs. Hope you stay tuned for more amazing Zelda coming up.
Yeah, everybody, if you haven't already done so, give this man a follow. Finalflame runs a whole bunch of really cool games. He's just a really cool dude. He's absolutely deserving of all your love and your follows. Please do that.
I appreciate it. And do follow CrunchyLex. Do we even mention your name at any point during this run?
At the very beginning, you mentioned my name.
Okay, good. Thank you very much for coming along with me for that. I think you saved whatever sanity I had.
Man, I wouldn't miss it for the world. You know I always support you if I'm able.
Yeah, always appreciated. That's all I've got. So, thank you once again, RGL, for having me, and stay tuned for A Link to the Past.
Yeah, there's a few runs left in this marathon. They all gonna be good. Stick around, everybody. You don't want to miss them.